So if you're looking for a credit card right now, balance transfer credit card, a purchase credit card, a rewards or cashback credit card, a travel credit card, a first-time credit card, then I'll take you through in this video some of the best ones out there right now. It's really important to know that with credit cards, just because there is a fantastic offer out there, it might not be the best one for you. So this is all about a guide, give you a sense of what might be available. As I say in all these updates that I do, you need to make sure, first of all, before you apply for any credit card, you go via an eligibility checker first of all. Now, sometimes you can do this directly with the credit card that you're after. Put your details in and they'll give you an indication of how likely it is you'll get that card. Sometimes I think this is the better option, is to go to a comparison site where there are loads of different cards listed and you can put your details in and see your chances of getting a huge raft of them. And that might help you make a choice between card A, card B and card C. Card A might have a better promotion, a longer 0% balance transfer time, or a lot, higher cashback rewards or whatever. But if you've got a better chance of getting one of the other cards, then you might want to weigh up whether you go for that rather than that one that is the leading card. But even so, in this April 2021 update, do this every single month, I will give you what I think are the best ones out there right now on the market, as well as a few different tricks and hacks to boost your return, your rewards, whatever it might be when you apply. Cashback or extra vouchers and things like that, which might also be a good reason to pick one of those cards over another. My name's Andy Webb, by the way. If you don't know me already, I do these videos looking at the best of the credit cards, best bank accounts, best savings accounts, go to these updates every single month, as well as loads of other individual videos looking into more detail about all sorts of areas of personal finance. If that sounds good and you want to make sure you get those updates notified of those every time they happen, hit that subscribe button and little notification bell so you don't miss out. Right, let's start off and let's talk about the best balance transfer credit cards right now. And there are two ways to look at balance transfer credit cards. If you don't know about them and how they work, check out my video which breaks down exactly what they are and how to make the most of them. But so two ways to look at 0% balance transfer credit cards. One of them is to go for the longest possible amount of time where you are charged 0% interest on the balance that you transfer from a credit card that you've already got to your new credit card. The longest ones. And the other way to look at it is how much fee you're charged every time when you do that initial transfer. So let's look at the longest ones right now, which if you're worried about how long it's going to take you to pay this off, even when you factor in a fee of generally around sort of 3 to 4%, the longer might be the better. So this is what you possibly could get. As I said, go via those eligibility checkers. I keep saying it because it's so important, but go via those eligibility checks and you'll get a sense of which one is best for you. Now, the longest one out there right now is still Sainsbury's Bank, offering you up to 29 months. When it says up to, that means you might not get that full length. You might get a shorter period. You might get 25 months. You might get 21 months. There is a transfer fee with this. And again, that varies between either 3% or 4% of the money you transfer over. And when you get this difference in the fees or the difference in the amount of time you get 0%, that is based on your credit report. Sainsbury's Bank, same with all the other ones, they'll look at your credit report as well as other detail you put in your application and other things. And they'll go, right, this person we think we want to give this or that to. Okay, so that's what you need to bear in mind looking at your really how good your score is. If it's pretty healthy, it's pretty good, you're more likely to get the longer term. If it's not so great, it might be the shorter term. But again, you won't know unfortunately until you apply. But anyway, that one, Sainsbury's Bank, is the longest one, quite a high fee. What does come with this one, if you do your regular shopping at Sainsbury's, at the supermarket, then you also can earn some bonus Nectar points with this one. So it's worth thinking about, even if you aren't able to get that full amount of time, if you think you're going to do Sainsbury's shopping. But again, balance transfer credit cards, really those should be kept just for the transfer and not for spending. So you might be better off looking at a different card for your supermarket spending and different ways to earn money on your points. That's the longest one. You can also get 28 months guaranteed with Virgin Money. That means if you are accepted to it, you will get the full amount, but there's no extra bonuses with that. You can do eligibility checkers for Sainsbury's and for Virgin Money. The other one I'm going to tell you about now, TSB, you can't do an eligibility check. So this is a bit of a weird one. If you really, really need this balance transfer, I would avoid it. However, if you do go via the cashback site Quidco, you can get a £20 bonus, which will more than probably cover the fee that you have to pay. You get up to 28 months there, so you might not get the full amount, and the transfer fee is 2.95%. There are other ones out there, but let's talk about 0% balance transfers with no fee right now. So when you do that, as I said, these are shorter amounts of time at 0%, so you don't have as much time to clear the debt. But if you don't need 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 months, if you can clear that debt you transfer over in a shorter amount of time, 1 year, 15 months, 18 months, something like that, then these are better because you don't have that transfer fee, so you will save some money. The leading one right now, Santander, offers 18 months interest-free with 0 fee for transferring over. And if you go via Money Saving Expert or Money Supermarket before the 19th of April 2021, you'd also get, if you're successfully accepted for this card, a £20 Amazon voucher. So that's a really good one to look at. There are other ones out there that might give you a shorter amount of time. Again, go to those eligibility checkers and see what one you are most likely to get. But really, really important with balance transfers, though, is you also factor in how long you think you can realistically clear that debt. You want to clear it by the time that 0% period ends. You don't want to have to then transfer it again and again and again. Because I know a lot of people do that, and sometimes it's possible. But if you get yourself in a situation where your credit report sinks for whatever reason, these deals disappear, criteria for lending increases, and you don't get offered one of those, then you're suddenly stuck with a debt at quite a high, expensive rate of interest. Right, balance transfer cards, done. Let's talk about money transfer cards now, which are pretty similar, but this is rather than transferring your money from a credit card to a credit card, a money transfer takes the new amount that you want. Let's say you want £2,000. You transfer that from this new credit card to your bank account. When it's in your bank account, you can use that as you wish. So a lot of people, this is perfect for clearing your overdraft or clearing a catalogue debt. Potentially as a cheap way of borrowing, but there are other options out there. Now this one, 0% for a certain amount of time, much shorter periods here. The longest you're going to get here is 18 months. There aren't many cards offering this, but also you will have a transfer fee on top. So you've got to factor that in when you work out how much you want to do it. But even if you've got a 4% fee, perhaps it's much better, say, for an overdraft or a catalogue debt of potentially 40%. So it's still better like that and gives you time to not get charged interest and clear that debt faster. The top one here, the longest one you're going to get is MBNA, up to 18 months. Tesco Bank offers up to 15 months. But if you want a guaranteed 12 months, Virgin Money, again, will give you that amount of time. If, again, you are accepted for these, you have to go via the eligibility checker to check what you will get. Now, 0% credit cards also work not just in clearing debts, but also helping you maybe afford something which is quite expensive and spread that cost out. And this is a 0% purchase credit card. So with these, you get the credit card if you're accepted, and then for a certain amount of time, any spending you do on it, you don't get charged interest. You do, as you do with the balance transfer and the money transfer, you have to pay the minimum repayment every single month. So it's not like you can put the money on it and forget about it for a year, whatever it is. You still have to make some payments. And my recommendation on this one is always to pay off as much as you can every single month. This is about helping you defer and break down a expensive cost on a 0% card rather than just completely ignore it until later on and deal with it later on when the period ends. So again, 0% purchase cards. Longest one, Virgin Money, gives 20 months. If you get the card, it is guaranteed for 20 months. So that is, more than a year and a half that you've got to spread the cost of something. Sainsbury's Bank offers up to 20 months. So not guaranteed you'll get that full amount. It might be shorter. But again, when I mentioned before, that Sainsbury's card for balance transfers, that if you shop at Sainsbury's, then you get some points. Again, this might be a good one to think about because you will get 750 bonus points every time you spend, nectar points that is, every time you spend £35 or more in Sainsbury's in the first 2 months. That's worth up to about £37.50 if you do that completely. But you've got to shop at Sainsbury's quite a lot to do this. M&S Bank has 18 months at 0% for their purchases. But you also, what's quite good about this one is you continue to earn points with your spending. So it only works at about 0.2% higher, about 1% if it's in M&S, but elsewhere 0.2%. But you'll obviously get 0%, no interest charge, delay it out, but also earn a little bit back on your spending throughout the year. Plus, and the vouchers do come and go, the different offers come and go, but until the end of March, so you've only got a few days as I release this, you can get a £10 voucher if you choose paperless, but different vouchers come and go. So maybe in April there'll be a different promotion, and also another £5 the first time you use your card. All of that payment is in M&S vouchers, I should say, but they're worth thinking about. So they're your debt cards, the ones that will help you reduce the cost of debt or borrow money much cheaper. Okay, so only certain situations you want to use those. Now, if you don't have any debts and you've got the money that's available to you, this is when credit cards actually can become, I think, really, really useful as long as you manage them properly. I won't go into all the details about this, but the real key here with the next cards that I'm going to talk about, if you're going to use them for these extra bonuses, extra benefits, is clear that balance completely every single month. So you can do this in a few ways. You can set up a direct debit that clears the card every single month, which is great. You won't ever forget, and it does it. But if you're slightly worried about how making sure you're not spending more than you've got in your current account, then you can always transfer money over every day, every week, every time you spend on those credit cards. Move the money from your current account straight over, clear that, and then you're keeping a much more accurate idea of what your real bank balance is. There are apps as well that can help you kind of compare the two on a single screen, and I will do a video about those in the future. Anyway, basically, let's start off with those reward and cashback credit cards. Now, if you saw my video about the American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card, then you'll know already about this one. This is my top pick if you've never had an American Express card before, or if you've not had one in your name in the last 2 years. That's because the welcome bonus on this one can be as much as £184. Now, to get that is a bit of a hack. You've got to, when you earn your points, you've got to swap them into Avios points and then swap them into Nectar points. They are locked as Nectar points, which does restrict your spending. But if you're happy with that, as long as you spend £3,000 in the first 3 months, then you'll get that £184 for just on top of that spending, which is fantastic. After that, the value of the point is either 0.5% if you keep them as points, or 0.8% if you do that conversion dance from Avios to Nectar. So that's the top paying one. Now, if you've had an Amex in the last couple of years, so you're not able to get a welcome bonus, or if you don't want the Nectar points, you want to have it as money that you can take off your bill, then the American Express Platinum Cashback credit card is my other top pick. This one will pay you 1% on your purchases for every pound you spend. Spend more than 10k in a year and it jumps up to 1.25%. And 10k sounds like a lot of money, but if you use this for all your supermarket shopping, your petrol, any other things, when you can go out, when you're buying things, a lot of places take Amex now, there's a good chance you'll get up to that 1.25%. Even if you don't, 1% beats everything else. So that's my next pick. I think it's a better option than the Platinum Everyday Cashback card. I've got a whole review you want to check out, compares the two Platinum Cashback credit cards. But generally, I think the best one to go for is that Platinum Cashback card. Does have a fee, as does the gold one has a fee, so you might want to look at these just for that first year and then swap to a cheaper one. Now, what happens if a shop doesn't take American Express? Then you want to look potentially at getting a backup Visa or MasterCard reward card or cashback card. Now, I've changed my mind slightly on which one I go for here. I used to recommend maybe the John Lewis and Partnership one, or the M&S one, or the Amazon one, or the Sainsbury's one, because they gave you an increased amount of points back at those retailers, which is great if you shop at them regularly. So I've got a Waitrose around the corner that I go to for most of my shopping. So that partnership, John Lewis and Partnership one, works really well for me because I get 1.25% on all that shopping there, plus a few other little extra perks that come along from time to time. But the downside of all of these is you only get the money back when you've accumulated a certain number of points. So with the Amazon one, for example, you need to get £10 worth of points before they'll give you a £10 voucher. Now, if you stop using that card for whatever reason, a better one comes along with a different promotion, or if you're like me, you stop shopping at Amazon, well, then those points are sitting there and you can't get them. So they're still worth thinking about if you do regularly shop at those retailers, and there can be sort of welcome bonuses from time to time. Amazon, for example, might give you a 20 quid voucher if you're accepted. We mentioned M&S already. John Lewis has in the past offered different vouchers as well. Sainsbury's has points. So they're worth thinking about there. But I think the best all-rounder, and it's a Visa card, is the Barclaycard Rewards credit card, because that money you get 0.25%, same as you will with most of those other ones, on your purchases, and that will be paid back to your credit card on the anniversary. So you will get that, whatever happens, however much you spend, you will definitely get that every year knocked off your bill. Now, these are always backups, as I say, because those American Express cards, they are going to earn you more money, and they are accepted in more and more places. So most of the time, your Amex is going to be fine, but it's handy to have a backup. Let's move this on now to the other sort of benefit you can have. We haven't been traveling much, so I won't go into too detail on this. But if you can go abroad, or you're spending here from the UK on purchases abroad, then you want to get a fee-free card. There are debit cards that do this, like Starling, like Monzo. But if you want a credit card for this, then that Barclaycard reward that I mentioned just now, fee-free overseas, and you'll earn that cash back as well. So that's really worth considering. Finally, let's talk about credit building credit cards. The first time you get a credit card, you won't necessarily be able to get a lot of those ones we've spoken about before. Your credit report, your credit score won't have enough information in there, or maybe you've had a bit of bad credit history in order to get some of those ones with the better perks. So getting a credit building card, amazingly, can actually help improve your score, to help your chances of getting one of those other cards. I've got a whole video on this you might want to check out. That explains how they work, what you're looking for. Again, with these, you want to do that eligibility check first of all to see which ones are best for you. The ones you're most likely to get accepted are the best ones in this category as much as the others, but particularly here because your whole point of getting this card is to build your score. But there are a couple worth looking at in terms of an extra you might get on top. If you go via the cashback site Quidco, you can get a £20 cashback reward from the Barclaycard Forward card. Again, this is designed for people with low credit scores. Or the Amazon Classic card, you'll get a £10 Amazon voucher with that one. But make sure, I know I've said this so many times, let me know in the comments if you've counted how many times I've said do the eligibility checker, but it is the most important thing. And I'll reiterate again, another point I've made a few times, make sure you clear that total balance every single month. Whichever card that you have, clear it. And if it is one of those ones, the 0% money transfer or the 0% purchase or the 0% balance transfer cards, try and pay off as much as you can every month, but guarantee that you are going to hopefully clear it completely by the time that period you've got a 0% ends. Hopefully this video has helped you focus down where you're going to apply for that card, if you're going to apply for one at all. If you found it useful, do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other updates that I do on this throughout the month. And if you've got any questions, let me know below. I'll either answer them in the comments or do them in next month's update. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.